his clutch. And I can't say because he didn't come through in that moment, now all the clutchness that he's done goes away. But Dame felt the way he felt. But like I said, I was as critical of him originally on May 27th as you were. Because I was like, hold on, bro. You don't get to determine how to set up so you can get into the tournament.
Okay.
Just go down there, play your 8 games, take care of your business, let the chips fall where they may.
Okay.
But to say, well, I don't have a real... Bro, you making a quarter of a bill.
Yep. So, leading into yesterday's show, I tweeted just to sort of tease our A block of the show. I'm still not buying Dame time. And apparently the Clippers aren't either. And during the show, I made the point to you that Pat Bev, Paul George had basically clowned Damian Lillard at the end of that game, pointing to their imaginary watch. Is it Dame time? And waving goodbye to him as he waved goodbye to the Thunder and Russell Westbrook a year ago in the first round of the playoffs. And my point to you was they would not have done that to LeBron James. They would not have done that to Kevin Durant. They would have paid both those men far more respect because they have earned that respect. And I thought it validated in part what I'm saying about Damian because they know he's won nothing. So they've both been around. And I'm not saying they're better players because they're not better players, although you can make a case Paul George is right in the same ballpark with Damian Lillard. But they went out of their way to challenge him on social media and go back and forth after the game. I thought that was telling and significant.
For me, Skip, Kevin Durant does not have he doesn't have something that he does after he hits a big shot that he does like Dame, like it's dollar time, like it's Dame time. Skip, I think the thing is we have to look at, Pat Bev is in L.A. Why? Because Dame sent his butt packing in Houston. Paul George is in L.A. for one reason. Because
well, I mean, that's not why Pat Bev's in L.A.
No, he didn't.
No. I mean, he knocked him out of the playoffs.
Yeah. And Paul George. Paul George with Russell Westbrook got sent home packing, and he came to the realization, I can't get any further than what I'm going right now because Dame sent his butt home packing. And then he up there kicking and laughing after the dude just hit a 50-footer on you to drop a 50-piece and average 33? So Dame is like, hold on, bro. Did you just forget what I did to you last year? Now you go get Kawhi. And now all of a sudden your chest is out.
Okay. So Damian, after that tweet from me, he fired back at me on Twitter, calling me a joke. And he wrote on Twitter, after our private convo, full of backpedaling.
It was private. You divulged it.
Oh, no, I didn't divulge it. He divulged it. You still have no respect for me, was the basic point. I said, okay, so be it. So Damian told me he does not watch Undisputed, yet he has now called me phony and bozo and joke. And I'm wondering, what does it matter what I call him if he has no respect for me? Why would he even pay attention to me? That's the biggest question I have. And I always have that for the athletes. What does it matter what I say? Because they take it very seriously.
They do.
Because I think he still has enough respect for my opinion because I've been doing this for a long time. I go back to covering the Lakers of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar pre-Magic here in Los Angeles. So I have a pretty good grip on what's going on. But I don't mind the name calling of me because I'm not going to name call back, but I will criticize when I see a time and a place for criticism. When it's called for, I'm going to criticize, which leads me to the end of this, which is I did use Dame's number one last time last night after I saw this tweet. One last time, won't use it again, but I invited him onto this show to sit right here, as many athletes have, Terrell Owens on down, and we can go back and forth about everything you and I just talked about. And you can chime in and you can take his side, you can take my, I don't care, because we can have it out, what got said and what didn't get said in the private convo.
Skip, I don't know if he'll take you up on that, but in a situation like this, I'm not taking sides. I'm going to be objective. I'm going to say if Dame is wrong, I'm going to say Dame is wrong. If you're wrong in a situation, I'm going to say you're wrong. You're wrong in that situation. Because what I've always tried to be since I've taken this job, being an athlete, realizing I had a mom that when I played and a sister and got kids and got a brother and had a significant other at the time. So I'm very cognizant of that, Skip. And so for me, I'm going to be firm. I think the greatest thing that when an athlete sees me, they say, man, you be telling the truth. He said, you firm, but you fair. And I've talked to a lot of guys that say you firm. And Skip, sometimes I take serious situations and I can make them funny. God has given me that ability to sometimes take serious situations and make them funny. But people get the gist of what I'm saying, the crux of what I'm saying. And for me, that's what I'm going to stand on. I'm not going to take, if I didn't think Dame was top 10, I ain't going to say nothing. I'm not going to say Dame is top 10 if I don't believe he's top 10. I'm not going to say Luka's good if I don't think Luka's good. Because that ain't how we do it. Because you have for the most part, you have no idea where I'm going. And people are like, well, what are you? I say, Skip and I don't rehearse nothing.
Nothing.
The first time Skip and I barely talk. We talk even less now because we come because of the situation. Yep. Is that basically I show up, cameras go on, and away we go. Yep. So Skip has no idea what I'm going to say. I have no idea what he's going to say. We're just reacting to what each other say. So if you think this is scripted, this is not scripted. Yep. What you see is what you get with he and I. So I don't really know what to tell Dame. I can just tell Dame it's not personal with you. I do think sometimes you're overly harsh in your criticism, but that's the way you do. I mean, sometimes you might think I'm going too easy on a guy.
Or you're overly harsh in your criticism of Tom Brady.
Oh, my good. See, you go. See, I told you. Did I tell y'all people what are you going to go back to? Oh, Tom Brady? Tom Brady?
Or Michael Jordan. How about that one?
Oh, my goodness.
Extreme excessive criticism of a guy who's beyond criticism.
No. No. No one is beyond reproach. Not in my book.
So in the end, this is my 2 cents from a distance about how Dame is attacking me. It's classic, cliched, kill the messenger or discredit the messenger. If you can't defend yourself on my criticism, you finally say, yeah, but you're a joke, you're a bozo, you're a phony.
Right.
And maybe his followers will say, yeah, we won't pay any attention to that anymore. You're okay, Dame. And that's fine with me if that's how you have to play this game, but I don't play it that way.
But Skip, we got to be careful because what has transpired, because when we say guys haven't won anything, we got guys that are the third or the fourth or the fifth option on a team that's won a championship that believe they're better than superstars that have never won a championship. We got guys that have titles that somehow believe because they're better than Charles Barkley because he never won, or they're better than Mailman because he never won. And I'm like, hold on. So we got to be careful of that. Just because a guy hasn't won anything, and he might not win anything, but that doesn't devalue him as a great player. And I believe Dame is a great player, although he hasn't won. Skip, there are very few people that get it like Tim Duncan. Tim Duncan comes out of college and he wins right away, and he keeps on winning. That doesn't normally happen. You look at Jordan, how long it took Jordan before he won. Look how long it took LeBron before he won. Look how long it took Kevin Durant. Or you get a Magic Johnson win an NCAA title, and his rookie year, he wins a title and wins Finals MVP. Larry Bird, it was 2 years later, he wins. Skip, it doesn't happen like that. We've gotten so used to instant gratification, and we think if a player is great, well, if you're great, just win. It doesn't work like that.
Unless you're transcendent, you're that guy who can lift even the Portland Trailblazers up to glory. They had a real shot against Golden State last year.
But Skip,
that was his moment. And he shrank in that moment.
You have to understand, Golden State playing without Kevin Durant is different than Golden State playing without Steph Curry because they had played without Kevin Durant for so long. So Kevin Durant not being there, guess what? They go back to their 73-9 team. They go back to their 67-15 team. So they have played. They had won championships without Kevin Durant. It's not like a situation where a guy has been there, then all of a sudden you take him out of the lineup. They have been used to playing without Kevin Durant. I thought, yes, does Dame wish he had played better down the stretch? Absolutely. But I'm not so sure that even in those games with a chance to win, had Dame not been spectacular early on. He's special, Skip.
4 quarters.
He's special.
Yeah.
He's special.
Well, show me and shut me up. And I will be the first to tell you, I'll be rooting for Damian Lillard against your Lakers if, in fact, they make it to the first round.
But the thing is, Skip, and I understand, I heard what you said about his win percentage, but how many times have Dame gone into the playoffs where his team was favored?
Okay.
So he beat.
I can say that about Jordan's early teams also.
You know, Jordan was always favored.
They were not against the Celtics? Are you kidding me?
No. And guess what happened?
Pistons?
And guess what happened?
They weren't
and guess
favored?
what happened?
Okay.
So, but Skip, nobody said Jordan wasn't a great player because he hadn't won anything. Because for his first 7 years, he won jack. And everybody still said he was still winning MVP. He was still winning Defensive Player of the Year, and he hadn't won jack.
And the Celtics called him God in sneakers.
It does, but Skip, and all the NBA players know what Dame represent. I mean, think about what they said about him down in the bubble. Everybody, he and Book and been some of the biggest names down there. Like, oh, Skip, they know what that guy represents. Skip, you know what it is.
The Clippers apparently don't know what he represents.
They know what he represents.
Do they?
Yeah.
Boy, they didn't express it.
Oh, they keep
after the game, they didn't say, "Gee, we were just kidding around. We have nothing but respect for him." Nope, they went right on social media and blasted away.
Skip, you know that's how it is.
You know and I know. You know what players think. You know how it operates, where players aren't going to attack like that if they have the utmost respect for somebody who is a made man in your league.
Oh, no, I'm doing it. I don't care how made you are. I'm gonna do it. If I'd have been an NBA player back in the day and I get me a dunk, guess what I'm doing? Right on the bull. Yeah, I'm like, yeah.
And you'd take a big old L because he would have then taken it out on you.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
He would have gone for 70.
If I play Kobe, I'm gonna put my jersey in my everything. I'm mimicking everybody.
The bottom line to this discussion, I have not heard back from Damian Lillard. I hope to, but I doubt I will.
Dame, you still my dog. Don't drop no diss track about your boy.
Yeah.
Don't need any of that.
That would be fine, too.
I appreciate the openness, Skip, from you in explaining that full story, because there was a lot there. Good stuff from you guys, and I do hope Dame reaches out. It's always good to do things in person, so we'll have to see on that. Guys, are we getting closer and closer to college football? We will go into the details and the latest after the break.